Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. Although today it's going to be a little astrology, not too much, and then tarot, and I'm reading on Eddie Van Halen. I'm so grateful. His chart is, and it's a AA rating from Lois Rodden, so we know that this time is accurate. But anyway, he was born in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So his father was Dutch and his mother was Indonesian. I found a really cool article on on Rolling Stone magazine, and I posted it in the community section. I'll try to remember to add it to the description of this video, but this is super interesting. So anyway, I'm looking at this chart and I'm just blown away about how astrology is so amazing. Pluto in the 10th house. So Pluto and Leo in the 10th house. We're in that realm of extreme creativity given to the world. It's like his life purpose was to share his beautiful creative self-expression and his love with the world. And then sextiling over is Neptune right on his ascendant, and you know these 4 points here, the midheaven, ascendant, descendant, and the IC are hot points. He has his sun down here at this past life hot point of shining, but then also having Chiron conjunct his sun. I could relate to the place where he I'll get back to the ascendant, but where he was speaking about in the Rolling Stone, I think it was in the Rolling Stone article, or it might have been another one. He spoke to the place where his mother would beat him up, not beat him up physically, I don't know, maybe she did, but mentally, verbally, as to she wanted him to play classical piano. And he compared himself to the guy in the movie Shine. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Shine. It's a beautiful movie. I highly recommend it. But you could see this aspect here where he's kind of tortured. It's like being a healer in a very unique way, but also being very wounded in his own like solar essence, in the core of who he is. He was wounded by this like patriarchal kind of mindset of like the old ways, and of course he incarnated with the Capricorn North Node and Cancer South Node. So here he is in his solar essence, just very, very unique, being an Aquarian, and then there's this inconjunct over here, and inconjuncts bring in that. I'll lay the chopstick here so you can see like the aspect. So his Sun and Chiron, they're here, and if you're here, you could probably see pretty well what's over here, right? Because it'd be right at your peripheral, right? So he could see, with Pluto, his soul, his literal soul essence would be visible to him, or he would be aware of it, like in his soul where he wanted to shine and where he wanted to love and give his love. He could feel that and see that. But then over here, it's kind of out of your view. It's something over here and it bugs you, and this is his past life issues. But being in the realm of Cancer, this is all about his relationship with his mother and the foreign land that he came from. When they immigrated from the Netherlands, they moved to Pasadena. So, and his story went that he was bullied in school, but he had a lot of friends who were black that stuck up for him. So yeah, that's how it is in Pasadena, South Pasadena, and Altadena. I used to work in that area and I loved it. So anyway, you could see how you'd have this echo over here. So this is a past life point as well, where he had an issue with his mother from his prior lifetime, and it may have been the same mother, and they came in to try and work something out. I don't know if they got it worked out. We'll see. We'll see what he was able to resolve using the tarot, but he just crossed over this last October, and I did get clearly that unusual, but he actually already reincarnated. So he's a little guy or a little girl in someone's arms at this point, and that usually only happens when you have something. When your incarnation is as complete as it can be here, and there's the next perfect mom and parents, mom and dad to come through already waiting, like getting ready to get pregnant or give birth, you know what I mean? It's like that type of thing, or getting ready to get pregnant. So probably when he started getting really sick with, he did have tongue cancer and had like a third of his tongue removed earlier on, but it was finally throat cancer that got to him. And he was an alcoholic like his father, but he had a good relationship with his father, and he also he also had some substance abuse, and that would relate there with this Neptune and Libra sometimes, and maybe even the Saturn and Scorpio. But it could be, you could relate it to just anything. Addiction is part of the human condition, and I don't have any judgment over it. It's just something that we all have to, work through. But so anyway, his flavor of addiction was alcohol and cocaine. And we don't know if that's what finally brought him down, but anyway, he left at a fairly young age, and then came right back in again. So I can't wait to check with the cards to see what's going on. But anyway, so let's go back over here to this point. Really drew my attention in because Neptune is, Libra's a bridge and a relationship, like just a bridge between something and you. And the ascendant is all about you. So here he is with this Libra ascendant where he could just literally channel source energy. Whatever consciousness he wanted to bring in, he could, and he did that with his guitar. And he was such an innovator. He created all, with his fingers. And he said because he didn't have the tools to do it, he did it with his fingers. Like he made the guitars, talk with his fingers. He was just, that's why he was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was amazing. So anyway, but this square from Neptune up here to Jupiter and Uranus, I could see where he would bring in his painful childhood as well as his tight connection to his brother, who turned out to be his drummer, in Van Halen. But I guess originally it started out with Eddie playing the drums and his brother playing the guitar, and then they didn't really like what they were doing, so they swapped. And then everything worked out. But Eddie himself was known for picking up any type of instrument and being able to play it like a pro, first time. And I guess his father was a trained, goodness, what was it? Hold on, let me see. I think it was a classical, let's go back to the, come on, phone. Come on. Let's see. His father was... language. He did deal with language issues. He didn't learn how to... Part of the reason he was bullied in school, Mars, Aries, is because... I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about a guitar player with a strong Mars and Aries and this Capricorn, because Mars rules tools and metal. And, here we have metal, and here we have metal, and this trine over here. I mean, the dude just really had it going on. And this innovative, Aquarian energy. But anyway, he didn't learn how to speak English until he was way past 7. Let me see. Where is... Oh my goodness, I can't find that part about his dad. Maybe it was in the other article. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll find it and post it later. But let's see. Yeah, he took up cello even in midlife, playing along to Yo-Yo Ma. Wow. Um, okay, so Eddie was on piano. Alex played saxophone. That's his brother that ended up being the drummer. But the dad was like, oh yeah, and then Eddie had a son, he named him Wolfgang. I love that. Um, and at 15, Wolfgang joined Van Halen on bass. That's really cool. But the dad played like classical. Oh, here it is. Eddie and Alex's father, Jan, was a hard-drinking, classically trained saxophonist and clarinetist. Clarinetist? No wonder I couldn't remember it. Who blew blazing solos in big bands. After fighting in the Dutch resistance in World War II, Jan traveled to Indonesia in its last days as a Dutch colony and married a woman he met there, Eugenia van Beers. When she and her husband returned to the Netherlands and started a family, they faced overt racism. Even as Jan's musical career was picking up, my mom became a second-class citizen, Eddie recalled, because she was Indonesian, with 75 guilders and a piano to their name. Guilders, I guess that's the form of currency. His parents, already in their 40s, took Eddie and Alex on a 9-day boat journey to America, and that's where they wound up living in Pasadena. I guess they started out in New York, of course. Yeah. So that's it. So you can see this. Uranus is enlightenment and awareness, but it's also soul shocks. Wherever it lands in our charts is where we've had some shock and trauma. And so with him, it was, I think, to his belief system, and I think it was because immigrating from another country, and then having this very challenging time, because I think he was very, very sensitive, but probably didn't know it, because when we're little, we don't know those things. We just don't know. I mean, we just feel things the way they are, and we don't understand when things don't feel right. Unless we have parents that mirror it back to us. And it didn't sound like with his mother that she afforded him that, those opportunities to self-reflect or to just didn't sound very nurturing. There's a challenge here. There's this, oh my goodness, that's right. He's got a square to his nodes. So this is what you call an issue that wasn't resolved in a past life. And this would have been with Mars. In the prior lifetime, he wasn't able to assert his own creative self-expression and assert his own will. It got cut short in that lifetime, or it was something that he was never able to completely, resolve. So he brought it in this lifetime, and I think he probably did pretty well. And then squaring up here his North Node is his part of fortune in Libra. So I think he did pretty good with that challenge as well. And look how that's on the other side. It's like he has two squares. I mean, this is the Grand Cross right here. I have this in my chart too. Different signs and houses. But anyway, so this challenge from his past life had to do with him just being able to be his natural self within the group consciousness, and he came in to heal that this lifetime, as well as be able to, of course, assert himself and just be his very, very unique, Aries, unique, innovative, pioneering, dude. I mean, yeah, wow. And then with Saturn in Scorpio here in his first house, so he literally channeled the music. It just would come through him. And the pain from immigrating from another country was, that kind of loomed in there. But it also gave him this unique way to channel that pain and bring it through. And then his home life, I think his home life was probably pretty good after a while. But maybe early on it was really challenging. Then again, we have this sextile. I mean, he does have the aspect of the architect here. I think it's more like once he got into his own groove, which by 22 he had done. Then things really took off. Once he probably had to rebel a bit. He at least rebelled in his feelings. They say that he held a lot of things in and then he would just blow up every once in a while, which, that's how it goes if you keep stuffing stuff down. So I don't know I hope he resolved that, but we'll see with the tarot how things went for him. But this beautiful, like from his south node, like that's this well of wisdom and knowing who he is and honoring all that is sacred within him. That's like a deep-seated, healthy belief within him. Coming from that belief that we honor children, we honor family. And so it was, I'm sure, extremely painful to have his mother be anything less than, kind to him, which many times it sounds like he wasn't. She wasn't to him. He didn't receive that. But there is this beautiful trine to, his ego. I always look at the moon as being the ego, and then the way he communicated from that place. So he figured out a way to make something new and innovative, and like he reinvented himself through his guitar is what he did. That's amazing. And maybe all the other instruments. I mean, he's the one that wrote the opening to Beat It, Michael Jackson's Beat It. And he didn't charge anyone. He did it as a favor to Quincy Jones, and he didn't want to complicate anything, so he didn't even take credit for it. And this, didn't come out until just lately. Yeah, so anyway, this is kind of this in a nutshell. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, because this isn't supposed to be an astrology reading, but once I figured out that his chart was out there, I just had to look. And then with Venus in the second, Venus is all about, where we have unity and where we have some grace and what we truly value, and it's in the house of values. And then it's in Sag, so it's all about getting to the truth. Getting to the truth. Yeah. Okay, so let me move this aside. And I created a little spread just for him. So I'll walk you through it. Okay, so first card is going to be his prior life karma. So positive and negative, the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to do columns. Okay. So prior life karma that he brought in that last lifetime. Okay. Oh yeah, that sure goes with his chart there. And we have to remember that when we're talking about karma, I'm not talking about anything at all negative. I'm talking about the law of cause and effect, in action. I'm speaking to things that can definitely be changed with our belief system and with our healing. So we can turn around any type of negative karma, and we do that every single day. We definitely do, and unless we just stay stuck in it, like some people do. But okay, so anyway, the next column here is going to be how much or how well did he resolve any negative karma in this last lifetime. Ooh, yeah, there's that Neptune on the ascendant. Okay. All right, and then this column will be how was his, how was his transition experience when he crossed over? How did that go for him? Good, okay, excellent, okay. And then the fourth column will be what did he and his higher self and his guides, what did they all, decide together to accomplish in his new lifetime, this new one, because he already came in. He did it. He's going to work again, yeah. Okay, and maybe not travel so much. I don't know. We'll see about that. I can always draw more cards. And then more clues, this column here would be about more clues about his life purpose. Wow, yeah, dude's a hard worker. He also donated a whole lot of guitars. He was a very, very generous person. Oh, I remember what I read about the things that his mother would say to him. She called him stupid a lot. He grew up thinking he was stupid. That's so sad. Okay. Let's move these over a little. Yeah, that one's visible. Okay. All right, so there's no, like mirroring or themes or anything like that, like I usually do, but because these are specifically, a certain topic for each column. So don't pay any attention to these while I focus on these two. So prior life karma, with the Ace of Swords reversed, I think he had just a limitation in his mind to where he thought, I think when people misused their power or lied, I think it bothered him a lot. I think he had, doubts in himself, like doubt, he just judged himself badly is what I'm feeling. And I think he just wasn't, he might have been kind of closed off. So something happened, I think, probably in prior lifetimes coming into this one, this last one, where he thought that life is just very, very limited and you just have to get through it. And that's especially true with this Six of Swords reversed, because this is like, something that was unresolved, like, anxieties that you can't get past, and not having a lot of support, because you don't get to the peaceful place that you want to get to. It could have been like restricted in another country type of a thing, and he didn't get to emigrate. So in this lifetime coming in, he did get to, and he did get to turn it around and be a really successful guy. I mean, no matter how he felt about what his mother said to him or whatever, he had to have felt really, at least accomplished in his career, which is, of course, one of the, the gifts of having a Pluto in the 10th house if you use the energy wisely. And he did. So this next column here was how much or how well did he resolve any negative karma in his last lifetime. Well, I would say with the High Priestess, I mean, this is great. We have two major arcanas here. With the High Priestess, I would have to say that that he had a good connection to his higher self. He came from his intuition when he created his music, and from everything that I read about him is like he spent all his life in his studio. And that may be what this is about too, where he may have negated relationship a little bit, because he didn't seem like it, but they say he was pretty introverted, because he put all of himself into his music, and he literally got lost in his music. And you can see this bridge here, where he was hooked up to his higher self. That goes along with this Neptune here on his ascendant, which is amazing. And this aspect of the architect here where he was just shining in this new way, and then this trine over here to his moon. So he really did get lost in his music. You can see it right here with these two aspects. So, okay, yeah, because with this Lovers reversed, I think that this probably, I think when he broke up with Valerie Bertinelli, I think it was probably heartbreaking for him. And it probably happened because, of the alcohol and the drugs. But it looks to me, because the question column here is, how much did or how well did he resolve? any negative karma. He did really, really well by hanging out with his higher self and channeling the music and being in that centered, intuitive place. Being in a place where he did have deep understanding and, and that clarity of being centered. But then when it came to when it came to relationship, I think he was still working on. Maybe he needed to forgive himself, and maybe he was still working on, and this would, bring it into this new lifetime, where he would need to forgive himself, where he would need to just let things go and, but communicate more and get out of the duality. Get out of the dualistic place of being right or wrong or good or bad, and creating win-win situations and basically, just communicating a lot more. And most of all, with the Lover's reverse, it's the need for self-love. But I think that he did resolve that, or he worked hard to resolve that towards the end of his lifetime, because he did remarry after Valerie, I think in 2009, and he was in a happy marriage until he crossed over. It's probably still, their hearts are, I'm sure, still connected deeply. So I like seeing this. This is good. So the third column here was, how was his transition experience? Well, with the Three of Cups reversed, he might have had a hard time breathing. He might have had a hard time getting to, just getting through the other side without feeling like he was drowning. It's possible that he, but then again, maybe maybe there was just this place of letting it all go and not like trying to numb out. So I'm wondering if he didn't use or didn't opt, for all the drugs he could possibly get. But then again, it could indicate just being drugged out too, if because it can be, Three of Cups can be, like overindulgence. And I was kind of feeling like the, like the drowning type of experience, which is be really challenging. But the cool thing here is, as that was happening, so however it went, if he went out in a drug-induced, haze, with meds to keep from feeling the pain, then that's fine. I'm not judging anybody for anything like that ever. I mean, it is what it is. But what he also did is he resisted any negativity. He said no. He didn't take the hand of fear. He said no to the hand of fear, and it's like he gave it up and decided, he's just going to go home. He's releasing himself from this material plane, and he looks like he had a deeper. When the devil comes through reverse, this is a card about a deeper spiritual understanding and overcoming any, materialistic temptations. It's a very, when this card is reversed, it's a very selfless quality. There's a very selfless quality and consciousness to it. And that's, that's how he was too. They say he was just very, very altruistic, which goes with his, Aquarian sun, which was it Sun conjunct, Sun conjunct Chiron. Oh, except for his Chiron. Well, now this is interesting, because his Chiron is our deepest wounding, our deepest separation, and our deepest pain. The degrees only go from 0 to 29, so he was at the nth degree of Capricorn. So there's wisdom there. There's a lot of wisdom there. And to have his sun, being his solar essence, like who he truly is, in the sign of Aquarius, this could be that he was very generous, and this is the altruistic quality here, as well as his part of fortune up here in the 11th house. And his Uranus up here, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus also rules the 11th house. So we look at these three, points here to get more clues. And Uranus is pretty close to his midheaven, which is, the purpose point. But also, more importantly, he really believed, because the 9th house is about beliefs, and he really believed in being generous, and generous from the heart, and giving, in a very caring way. So how fantastic that he created, immense wealth in order to be able to share it with others, and that he did. He definitely did. Okay, so this column here is what did he, this is the column for what he and his higher self and his guides decided to accomplish in this new lifetime. Well, they decided that he wants to work, he wants to teamwork, he wants to collaborate. He didn't want to go it alone, and that's the way to do it, right? I mean, if you go out as a rock star, you're not going to, you're not going to want to. I mean, that's a tremendous quality to have, because it's the group consciousness of, all your fans, I suppose. But so he, he really liked. It looks to me like he really liked working, and he really fulfilled this North Node in Capricorn that he had come in with before. So it looks like he had moved out of the, it balanced the polarity between the Cancer and the Capricorn, his South Node in Cancer, North Node in Capricorn. And that, translates into wanting to work. And then, of course, because this column here is his life purpose, the Eight of Pentacles is all about honing your craft. And that's what he did all his life. I mean, so he's going to continue on. He's still a little guy right now, so we can't say, or it could be a woman for all we know, but, I guess we have to wait about 20 years to see. And then someday we're going to go, I wonder if that was Eddie Van Halen. he might be one of those, those kids that come through and they're like 2 years old and they can play all these drum solos, or they can play guitar, whatever, and they just have these gifts, and you can't explain them. And those are the things that make you believe in reincarnation. But okay, so teamwork, effort, this collaboration, this craftsmanship, this having a skill and a trade. That I'm speaking to both cards here, and to do it in a way that other people want it, and it's a viable, like, commercial art. I mean, both of these cards are about very, very skilled artistry. So his new life purpose is going to be, I think, just to continue on in that. And he decided with his, we sat down at his council with his, spiritual family, and said, I want to go back in there and do it again. But maybe this next time, I'm not going to. I'm not going to have so many problems. I'm not going to be stuck in the emotions. I'm not going to be in so much fear. And I'm not going to be so darn restless. It looks like he set the intention to overcome being restless and overcome being afraid of exploring and moving, into new territory. And it looks to me like the new territory is to have a really, really happy family. But I think he did, because it sounded like his son just adored him, and they just had the one. But the Ten of Cups reversed has to do with you know, with healing any place where you feel like you wasted part of your life or wasted energy that could have gone towards love, and to heal, you know, any type of happy family issues, because the Ten of Cups, when it's straight up, is all about the happy family. So I think this had more to do with his issues with his mother, you know, because it didn't sound to me from everything that I read, which I didn't read a lot, but it just didn't sound to me like he really got to play. And I think that guitar probably was a form of playing for him. But his mother used to say that the high-pitched sounds reminded her of his crying that he, you know, was doing through his guitar. But I don't remember him making a lot of high-pitched. I mean, I just remember it being more of a deeper groove. I guess I didn't listen to all of it, but of course. But anyway, yeah. So I think I feel like he'll come back as a man, or has come back as a man, as a little boy right now. But and it looks like he'll just continue on and not be so fearful, not be so restless. And there's the intention to heal any family dynamics that went wrong. So how beautiful. Excellent. Absolutely just beautiful. So anyway, that's my tribute to Eddie Van Halen. Okay, you guys, that's all I have. I'll be back later. Bye.